4 o'clock, time to tune into yourself and turn out the chatter of the outside world. Today, we're going to be working with the shoulders. In fact, all week, we're going to be lightening the load on our shoulders. We carry a lot around. I'm going to see if I can get rid of this light that's coming in. Let's see. Maybe not, maybe. So, all week, I'm here to help you lighten the load on your shoulder. We carry a lot of tension here. Everybody knows it. And, you know, we lean forward to look at computers, to look at cell phones, to chop, to cook, to read. And this upright posture as we get older becomes less and less habitual. And of course, the crunching of the upper back shrinks the cavity for the heart. And the heart likes to have space. So, in addition to taking the load off the shoulders, we're creating space for the heart by working on the shoulder girdle, which means stretching these pectoral muscles and kind of squeezing and unsqueezing the tight muscles in the back. They're kind of like strands of spaghetti. If you cook spaghetti in a big pot of water, they remain juicy and kind of individual strands. But if you don't use enough water, they all glom onto each other. So this is what happens to tight muscles. They get kind of rigid because they don't have enough juice to float into. So the exercises we do will help rejuicify and lubricate those shoulders. So I'm going to first show people in a chair what to do, and then we're going to do similar poses on the floor. So the chair people can continue to sit in the chair and do what we're doing on the floor. I've set up in a little different corner of my studio today, you will see. So we're going to turn the chair. The chair people, if you're unprepared, you'll have to watch it again later and repeat. But so you're going to put your chair against a wall. You can do this with an imaginary wall, but it's not going to add the water to your tight spaghetti, okay? So we're going to start out with a triangle. So weaving the fingers together, okay? And elbows about shoulders distance, not wide, not too narrow, just right. And place it against the wall. I'm sitting on the edge of the chair, okay? So I'm pressing my elbows and my hands and squeezing the upper back. So you're moving the scapula flat. Okay, so yoga increases your strength, increases your flexibility, increases your joint mobility, reduces pain and inflammation, but the most important thing I think it does is it improves your coordination. If you have good coordination, you're not afraid to walk. You're not, you're able to use all your muscles. So we're bringing consciousness to the back body, flattening the shoulder blades against the back ribs, opening the front. Okay? The second thing I would like people on the chair to do is plank pose. So that's the same thing with straight arms. So the middle finger is pointed straight up to heaven and press. Retract the arms into the shoulder sockets and keep the elbows straight. The third pose for the people on the chair, before I go down onto the floor, is camel pose. Okay, so my feet are on the floor, my buttock is back in my chair, and I'm going to grab the back of the chair and lift. Okay. So the rest of the class will be on the floor, for those of you who get on the floor. And let's start with the triangle pose. So people on the chair, you can do the triangle against the wall. Here, we're going to put the triangle against the mat, okay? So, you have a little bone on the outside of your wrist and you have a bone on the outside of your elbow. You want to press down the blade of the forearm, okay, and the little finger side. Now you'll feel a lot of work in the bicep, and we again are going to flatten our scapula against the back ribs, okay? So the buttock can be up in the air, and you're going to press down. Press down. So 2 things you can do here. You can move your knees back and press your shoulder blades down and your elbows and wrists, and you get a nice squeeze to the upper back, okay? You can curl your toes and come up. So what's happening here is, that's a dolphin pose, it's called. So you're moving the muscles across the front of the chest, flattening the scapula. Consequently, you're giving the shoulder joint room, and you're adding fluid to the tight upper back. Let's just give our shoulders a little tap before we do that dolphin pose again. Okay, so let's make the triangle, okay? Put the triangle down, going on the blade of the forearm between the outer wrist and the outer elbow. So not flat, but on the edge, okay? So position 1 is just to move the hips back and squeeze the upper back, press down the wrists and elbows. Phase 2 is to come on up into dolphin pose. And come on down. Okay. And just side to side with your head. Next, we're going to do plank. At the wall, people are going to press their palms strongly against the wall. Straighten the elbows and pull the upper arm back into the socket, flatten the back, and stretch across the front. We're going to do the same thing in plank pose. Okay? So, middle fingers always forward, hands wide, and come into plank. Okay. When you're in plank, I'm going to give you instructions. So, heels are back, and you're moving the shin bone into your knee, okay? Now, I must say, if that's too much, you can come down on your knee. If you can't do it, shin bones, heels move back, shin moves into your knee. Navel slightly back, sternum slightly back. And when you get to your shoulders, the collarbone is moving right and left, palms of the hands strongly down. And you don't want to curl your shoulders in, but expand and feel very strong. And come on down. And we'll stretch. And let's do that plank one more time. You can time yourself. A minute is good. Inhale, and then come on up. If you need to bend your knees, widen your shoulders, really press into your wrists, lengthen the neck. So heels back, but shins into the kneecap. Squeeze the buttock flesh and move the back buttock towards the heel. Navel up, sternum up. Come on down. And stretch. That's a little more work than we usually do, but there are the variations. Staying on your knees. Now we're going to do camel. You can take a blanket for your knees. It's nice to do it with a chair, okay? And I'll show you a variation. So you push down on the chair and lift, elbows in, squeeze the upper back. And here's a variation. You grab the seat of the chair and you lift up, turning the cracks of the elbow forward. Now here, when you're practicing the camel, it's called the camel because supposedly there's two possible reasons. One is you look like the hump on a camel's back, and second, the camel bends its legs back before it comes down on the ground. So you can choose which reason you like. But we don't want to push our hips forward, but keep a nice straight line here. Reach back and lift. So that brings, you'll feel a lot of energy moving into your shoulders where you carry the load. We'll go one more time with the camel pose. Those sitting in the chair, you can bend over the back of your chair. And let's put the shoelaces down, okay? And move the skin from the knees up to your chin, like a smooth stream of energy. Okay. Come on down. And after that pose, it might be nice to come on your back. If you're on the chair, you can just lift one knee, bring one knee into your chest. You can flex and point your toe. Put that right foot down, bring your left knee into your chest, point and flex your toe. And then grab both knees and just roll. Cross your legs. Come on up. Okay, that was day 2 of taking the load off your shoulders. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We will do more shoulder work and upper neck, taking the load. I'm here this week to help you take the load off your shoulders. So have a great day. See you next video.